Hey Flosstube friends, welcome back. My name's Lorraine and you're at my channel Shane Brick Cottage. Welcome. I've been busy and the scraps tell the story. So many scraps. So today's episode is going to be what made all these scraps, what I'm doing with the scraps, besides making a big old dust ball. I have a cross stitch finish. I have a jelly roll day, not a fail, but it never really blasted off the ground. I got my serger fixed, so I have a project on deck for that. I have cross stitch whips, and speaking of having projects on deck, I've got lots and lots of stuff to sew that are prepped, and a teensy bit of haul. And then I also have, instead of doing how we like to shout each other out on Flosstube, which is awesome and fun, and I love it when somebody shouts me out, I'm going to give you my, not my top 5, but today's top 5 favorite Instagram channels to follow for eye candy and kindness and all of those kinds of things. So and I wrote them down. And then I have the winner of the last giveaway. The winner is, I'm going to put it across the screen for you, Jacqueline, ELEIBFRIED 4691. Thank you for the comment. The comment is, you are so creative. The ghost bag is darling. So Jacqueline, the ghost bag and its little charm is all yours. Please send me your address to my email address, which is across the bottom of the screen, shanebrickcottage@gmail.com, and I'll pop this in the mail to you. And I don't know what else I have here in this pile, but we will just get a crack-a-lack-and-lackin'. So let's talk about the scrap pile. So I emptied it out from this basket. These are all of my strips, my offcuts from projects. And so you can see I have a lot. And they're not big enough to be 2.5-inch charms. They're all smaller than 2.5 inches, or just about smaller. And I've been saving them because I shared with you guys, I saw a stitcher on YouTube share that she makes little strip quilts blocks with her scraps. This one is a bag that got trimmed down that was like a log cabin bag. You might have seen that bag in my shop. And so it takes about 10 minutes or so to make one of these. And there's the first one I showed you. And I'm going to sneeze from all the dust I made playing with the scraps. And her recommendation was to get these little waxy hamburger patty papers off of Amazon. You get like, they're 6x6, 300 sheets. And I sew the strips to it, and then I'm cutting them down with my little spinny rotary cutter mat that spins to 5x5. And the idea is then when I have a bunch of them, really made a lot of dust, I'm going to peel the backs off, and then I'll have like little blocks, and I can make like some really super scrappy projects, quilts or tote bags or something. And it makes me feel good that I'm not throwing all that stuff in the trash. So what did I make to create all these scraps, or to contribute to these scraps? Wow. Oh, I have one more over here. I have one that I started. Oh, this one's going to be like some Tula pink fabric on it. So we'll start with this. New bags that I made. let's see, is that all of them? I think so. I think these are all the ones I made for the next drop that's going in the Etsy store. So I want to thank you guys so much. Oops, sorry, I'm wearing a mic, which is new for me. I don't know if I just bopped it and made noise, sorry. But you guys, you have been so kind, and I have sold quite a few things, and everyone's given me 5 stars. So that makes me happy to know that you like what you're receiving. So thank you. And thank you for those of you, even if you haven't purchased anything, if you've just gone to the store and poked around, that's great too, because it just, it drives traffic to the store. The more people who stop and look, even if you don't purchase, you know, Etsy, like it creates, I don't know what it does, but it does something. So they show it to more people. I don't know. But anyway, so here's my new ones. So I made now these ones are a little different than the ones I've been making. These ones I boxed the corners on, and I love it. And then I put I made a little Santa pole charm for it. It is fully lined. So stinking cute. The front is quilted, the back is not. It has fusible batting in it, and then it has Pellon batting on the lining to give it some stability. But isn't he sweet? So he'll be listed soon. And then he had some little friends. So it was like a panel that I got. I don't remember the fabric line. Maybe the night before Christmas or something. It's a newer fabric line, and it had some panels. So here is a little guy, and my hand's covering the cutest part. I'm just having so much fun making these. So it's a Santa, a pink present, and a silver snowflake on like a big skirt pin with just a couple beads. Again, I went with the front being quilted, the back not. He is also fully lined. So I was thinking cute, a great notions bag. I was also thinking about keeping one of these as for myself, not only as a notions bag, but maybe just to toss into my purse or my library book bag, just so things don't get lost. So I've got a little something, something. I just love that. So that'll be in the store. Here is another one. This one has a different charm. This one is a pink snowman, a candy cane, and a snowflake. I know the bag is supposed to be the star of the show, and these are just the cherries on top, but the cherries are awful cute. And this one I used 2 different linings because I was just cutting down fat quarters. So these stripes are from the fat quarter bundle I used last year to make 2 quilts out of. And I'm at the very end of that fat quarter bundle, just using up a little pieces. That's super cute. And I don't remember if I showed you this one or not. This is the first one I did with the boxed bottom, which was like, okay, I love the boxed bottom. It's a couple more steps, but I like the way it makes the bags stand up. And another beaded charm. This one's like, I kind of went with the stripes because there's ribbons and stuff in this. And this is Mary Engelbrecht's fabric line. And I'm sorry if I said that wrong. For some reason, I'm feeling like deja vu. Maybe I already showed you this. And then fully lined. So making those created a lot of scraps. And I've got 3 stacks here. More cut, infused, and at the first step of attaching zippers. So there's a whole stack. So you can see this one I think is going to be mine. This green, I really like this. This is going to be the same size as the Santa bag. And then, oh, these are also cute. They're super tiny little pink Santas. And then there's another one. I made one of these earlier in the year with the mail on it. So cute. So that's 1 stack. So lots of fabric scraps. stack number 2. This one is all quilted, but I haven't, and I have zippers picked out, but I haven't started attaching the zippers to the top. So there's more of those little ones from that panel. That panel was the gift that just kept on giving. And that one's also very sweet. I like that one with the poinsettias around it. And I know that fabric here is a Singer fabric. So that was like a little bundle I got at Joann's before they closed. Rest in peace, Joann's. And my Michaels, I did talk to my Michaels, and they are going to get fabric. She says she believes it's in February. The lady who's managing the store used to manage or work at Joann's, but she's not sure where they're putting it because I bought ribbon there and they had to cut the ribbon at the checkout counter and there was like no room. Like I would not want to do that if I worked there. So she's hoping that they're not going to have to cut fabric there because there would be really nowhere for them to roll it out even. Like, because I mean, they just had a little skinny spot and they were rolling out my ribbon and to cut it to the yardage. So she's not sure what the fabric situation is going to be like there, what they're getting rid of to make room for it, because my Michaels isn't very big. But so that will be nice to have another option, because for me, Michaels is in Gettysburg, which is closer for me than going to, if I need just like some liner fabric or some coordinating fabric that I'm not going to get from the Fat Quarter Shop. Like Hobby Lobby for me is in Gettysburg, but Hobby Lobby is a very dangerous store for me to go in. I try not to go in very often because it is really big, and I don't know what they pipe in that place, but you think you're going in for like 5 zippers and you walk out later and you've spent over $100. So I don't know what happens when I go in there, so I just try not to go. I don't have that problem at Michael's. It's not as big. I don't know. It just doesn't talk to me like that. I can be very focused and going for what I need and leave. So I don't know. And then I digress. This is a channel about cross stitching. We are going to get to cross stitching, but I've just been like in my sewing era, bag making era. I said I was going to make a few bags. I don't know. I've fallen down the rabbit hole, and I'm going to keep doing it because it brings me enjoyment, and I'm having a lot of fun playing with the fabric that I have. And so, you know, hang in there if you're here for the cross stitch, but I just got to show you all the fabric I've been playing with. And then this is my third pile. This will probably be my third and final pile that I have cut up for Christmas. And this one has some Hobby Lobby fabrics. It also has some designer fabric that I got off Etsy and some more designer fabrics that I got off Etsy that are all prepped, cut to size. Some are fused, some are not. So that'll be the third and final stack. And probably after that one, I'll probably never want to make another bag again. But until then, I'm going to keep doing it because it's fun. And I don't know if you can see behind me. So one time when we went to the flea market, I got this what would you call that? Not a cork board. Shoot, the word's escaping me. A board where you put little hooks in it so you can hang stuff. Anyway, speaking of zippers, I organized my Coats and Clarks and Hobby Lobby YKK zippers. Da-da-da! But I have more. I finally figured out where to get the big bad boys, the ones with the big zipper pulls. I got these from Wawak, and I just ordered a handful of colors. And of course, I'm working with green right now. And I didn't order any green. So I'm going to use up my supply I have there because some of those are like only 14 or 18 inches. And these ones, I think I ordered much longer ones just to make sure I had ones that were long enough. And then I've decided if I go through those and I go through these and I'm still like rocking and rolling and enjoying making bags, I am going to start buying it by the roll, and that way I can pick the zipper pull color I want and all that and start putting that together. I was looking at that this past weekend when I went into the local Bernina store to get my Serger some TLC. They have the supplies on a roll there, and I was asking Delmar how how does that work? How do I get the pull on there? How do I do that? And he is so kind. He took the time to explain everything. Speaking of being kind, so my serger basically just needed a needle replaced, and it's been sitting for a year because I couldn't figure out how to get that needle out. I broke a needle before, and it was like a bear to get it in and out. I broke it again, and I was just like, it made me feel better because the girl that tried to change the needle there couldn't. And then one of the owners, Delmar, he fussed with it a little bit, and it is a little challenging to change the needle. So it made me feel better, but he still got it done where I did it. And then he was so kind. He's like, "Do you want me to rethread it for you?" Because, like, you know, from moving it and stuff, the threads were all. I was like, "Oh, you're not gonna have to twist my arm because I'm gonna have to get out the owner's manual and, you know, follow what I got to do." So he just rethreaded it real quick, and then he was like, well, "Let me plug it in and test it." And then he was like, "It looks, the tension looks a little off," and so like he like tweaked it and stuff, which was so nice. I did not have an appointment. My goal was to just drop it off, give it a blessing. I'll come get it whenever you want me to come get it. I'll give you whatever you need me to pay you because it's not doing me any good sitting here. So they did all of that on the spot and only charged me for the cost of needles. And I said, "Are you sure? I am happy to pay a service call because, you know, you threaded it for me, you diagnosed some tension issues, you know, showed me a couple things." They're like, no. And it's not even a machine I bought from them. It was a machine, they're a Bernardina dealership. My machine's a Singer that was gifted to me by my dear sweet father-in-law. It was his wife's machine, and he gave it to me. God rest her soul. I never got to meet her, but wow, that was just my lucky day. So I got zippers, lots of zippers. Then since you're with me, you're 16 minutes in, you just might as well just buckle up. Let me just do my rambling. And we will get to that cross stitch because I've got a pile. I have for the Serger. So I've been wanting, and I think I showed you once, I made a shirt that I wore, and you guys were like, "Oh, that's cool." But it didn't turn out quite the way I wanted it because I just did it on the machine, and the machine, it's not a Serger, and it needed a serge. So I got my Serger back, and these are the two shirts I'm going to put together. So look at the, I wish you guys could feel this. This is the softest flannel. It's called Well Worn is the brand. Beautiful. But look at the sweatshirt. A Barbie sweatshirt. And who doesn't love Barbie? I love Barbie. Barbie has everything. Barbie can be anything and has everything. So I'm going to Frankenstein these two together into one shirt. Hopefully it will turn out to be my size, because when you're mashing shirts together, you get a little bit different size. So things that traditionally would not fit me, well, this one would, because it's a double X, is the flannel. And Barbie's an X, so I'm sure it's going to fit me. I'll be very sad if it doesn't. If I come back here in 2 weeks and be like, "It didn't fit. It's for sale." And I'm going to love it. And hopefully you'll see me wearing it. Some of those upcycled shirts I've already made and put in my Etsy store have sold. And so I'm just super excited to do more of those. You guys have been super positive and loving those. So thank you so much. Let's see what else we have. So let's do my finish next. I'm just working my way down the pile. So I signed up for this club with Stitching with the Housewives. Stitching with the Housewives. I got a new t-shirt. With this came the previous one. One of them came a coupon for their apparel. So I got myself a new shirt. And I also saw on Instagram, today is Chelsea's wedding anniversary. I think it's been 3 years, it said. So congrats to them. I'm sure they don't watch my channel, but if somebody does watch my channel that knows them, blah, 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 just let them know that I wish them well. Or more importantly, that's not the important part. The important part is, if you see this and you didn't know that, take a moment to go on Instagram It's Chelsea356 and wish her a happy anniversary, because that's the important thing, is that we just cheer each other on and support each other's relationships so they can have a happy life. So anyway, I got the pattern, and oh, let me grab the needle minder. It is like the best. Oh, we'll just cut all that out because you don't need to see me in my frumpy sweatpants leaning across the room to grab stuff. But so this is the bag that came, which is nice. I wish it was the canvas bags, but this is plastic and that's very pretty. But this is the cat's meow. It's so stinking adorable, the pumpkin. And then this is what I did. I only wanted to do a little small out of it, so I pulled one of the smaller pie plates out. I added greenery to my pumpkins that are on top, and then I selected one of their little pumpkins to put off the side. I finished it with 2 sticky circles, some rickrack, some ribbon from Hobby Lobby, and this pumpkin was a pumpkin I had in my stash. It's just a shelf sitter, and I think it had a Walmart tag on it at one point. And this was inspired by Amy at Stitch It Pink, right? I wrote it down. Amy at Stitch It Pink. She is one of the 5 of my 5 Instagram people that have been just making me love social media, and a nice, happy spot to land my eyes on each night before I go to bed and do a little bit of scrolling. So she's one. Let me tell you my other ones. My other one is Chris Johnston. Her Instagram handle is, I can't even read my own writing. It's like, I think it's Christine Auburn. Let me look. I hope I saved it. Yes, it's it's Chris in Auburn. Because she's in Alabama. And here, she just opened an Etsy store. I don't know her personally, nor do I know Amy. We are just little Instagram hearting each other back and forth. And she just opened a store called CJ Made Bags and More. And she made some beautiful, well, here's a picture of all the totes she made, makeup bags. She has makeup bags. She has a bag that her and I were chatting about earlier, yesterday or today, called the Hemingway bag. And so she told me what the pattern was called and the designer. So I have that in my Etsy cart. And it's a bag where the zipper is going on a diagonal. And she told me if I got the pattern that she would give me tips. She had some tips on how to make it lay right, because it looks really cool how it's done. And it looks like she is a very good seamstress. It looks like she has a nice finish. I'll probably buy something off her store just to peruse it. I don't make makeup bags or anything like that. And so not that I need a makeup bag because I don't really wear makeup, but I could use that bag for a lot of things in the camper probably. And maybe just be inspired and maybe make my friends some makeup bags for their campers. So that was number 2. So go give her store a look-see. And if you're not following her on Instagram, I highly recommend it. And these are people who are, they're not like Stitching with the Housewives or Lori Holt, like the well-known big names of the craft world. These are just people like you and I who are just living their best crafty life and sharing stuff with people. And so if you're into that, I think you'll like these people. This one, again, a little bit of back and forth. I want to say her name's Tammy, and I apologize if I have the name right, but I know I have the Instagram handle right. Leopard and Lace Company XOXO. And you'll know that you have the right person when you see this beautiful lady with a beautiful smile. And she kind of has like, I don't even know if she's from Texas or not, but she reminds me of like the big Texas hair like that. Like if she had her hair up in a clip, it'd be just a little punched up, like a nice Southern girl. And she has gorgeous, extra, over the top, beautiful to the tiniest detail kind of things. Charms, needle cases. She just went to a retreat, so retreat gifts, just you name it, it's like out of the park, over the top cute. Like, I don't think she sleeps because every day she's posting something that she's made. And I'm like, girl, you just posted, you made 30 of these yesterday. How'd you make 20 of these today? I don't know, but a good one. Oh, this person is kind of like a Stitching with the Housewives, been around a while. Felicia at Mouse Potato Designs. So you might know Felicia because she is, I think she's well known for her French knots and sheep, like French knots on sheep, like the best French knots ever. But she is not just one-dimensional, one-trick pony French knot girl. She has so many things going on. She does journaling, she does organization, she's remodeling her house, she's picking out paint colors, she does it all. Another person I don't think sleeps. And I always just find her feeds inspiring, delightful, cozy. And then this person here, Becky, Crafty Mimi of 6. If she posts a lot, it doesn't pop up in my feed a lot because you know how that is. You can follow somebody, and once you start following, a couple hundred people, the little puppets behind to figure out what they're going to show you or not decides. So I may have missed some things. But when I do see her stuff, I'm like, oh, I like that so much. And anybody with the name Crafty Mimi of 6, like, we got to be best friends someday because, like, I'm a grandma. I'm not a Mimi, but I'm a grandma. And I have a lot of grandkids and I love them a lot. I have 6 as well. So, I feel like connection. And I think that's it. I think that's all 5. I have one more thing I want to show you from Instagram, and then we'll move on to my whips. I see that next in my pile. Let me show you this. I'm just like, the news is just kind of like, Urgh. So when I find something happy on the internet, I just want to share it with you guys. So I haven't dove deeper in this. This was a sponsored listing. So you can screenshot it. The little Stitcher design. And I did hit follow. And I like this because it made me think of Java Girl Stitches. Doesn't she have a stitch along which will you stitch or something like that, a real tongue twister? And I thought this was like really cleverly done, which not too cute, but not too spooky, and it has that sewing theme. So I thought some of you might like that if you're looking for a which do you want to stitch pattern, and this is a new one. So I thought you guys might like that. So speaking of stitching, let's get into the stitching. So I only have 2 project bags here because I've been doing a lot of other stuff. Plus I gotta work. I gotta vacuum the carpet sometimes. I do have to make dinner. So I got a little bit more done on this one. Harvest Time by Pickle Barrel Designs. This is on 14 count fabric flare with my own adventure colors picked. And it's coming right along. I have let's see, I got Chris leaves stitch, pumpkins, the red truck, and some more leaves. And it'll be done. It would be nice to get this done this year. I don't love the colors that I picked, but I love everything else about it. This one I love so much. This was my birthday stitch. Oh, so this is one of the bags I made from Halloween. And this is a little birthday bag that I made. And this has my birthday stitch in it. So my birthday was this past September 1st. We're still in September. We're close. We're getting close to the end of the month. So this is Jardin Privé, all about the letter L. Since my name's Lorraine, I like the letter L. And my granddaughter's name, one of my granddaughters, is an L as well. And this is on that, it kind of shows up in the camera, that 14 count fabric flare pink, Kimberly's pink gingham, which I got from the Fat Quarter Shop. And then the pattern and floss I got directly from the designer, and just a little charm from Hobby Lobby. See what I'm saying? I can't go to Hobby Lobby and just get one thing. I gotta like snag stuff. So this one here, I did make a change on. Where all those hearts are is supposed to be a butterfly, right here. And I'm not much of a butterfly girl. They're beautiful creatures, but I like hearts better, so I just threw some more hearts in there. So I may or may not work on this one tonight. I enjoy working on this one a lot. And I know that I'm off somewhere by like one stitch, which since it's kind of like Quakerish, it's not going to matter. It's not like a picture I'm throwing off. But like I was like, when I counted off something, I was like, oh, that's not right. And I was like, we're going to roll with it, because I'm not going to like sit and try and figure out where the mistake is, since it doesn't really matter. And this is going to go in, that's all I'm going to stitch from that. I really just wanted the needle minder and the floss. So this will probably go for sale in my shop at some point. So I'll just throw that over here with the bags. So I'm done with the pattern. I'll share it with somebody else. Then this past Saturday was National Jelly Roll Day. A jelly roll, if you don't know, is a 2.5 inch strip of fabric by width. So 22, no, not 22.5, 2.5 inches. I'm sorry if I said that wrong, by like 40 couple inches. And they usually come, they're called a jelly roll because they come all nice and pretty. This one's already taken apart. Let me show you what they look like if you don't know, in case my mom's watching, because she doesn't know. So Gigi, if you're watching and not just letting me play in the background, if you're really listening to me, this is what a jelly roll is. Isn't that just beautiful and delicious and scrumptious? So you get a cut of every fabric in the collection, and sometimes you get repeats. No more than usually 2 of the same print. And so my goal was for Jelly Roll Day was I was going to start another jelly roll rug. And so I pulled this. This was a jelly roll called Time and Again, which was red, white, and blue mostly. I pulled out these blues I'm not going to use. So I set those aside for another project. And I mixed in some reds from a Sandy Gervais, I'm sorry I said that wrong, palette. So I had more reds. And I don't know if these are all I'm going to use. I think I have like 13 of each one. And then I have white. And I think I have enough here to make 2 smaller kitchen size rugs. Like I'm picturing what, 23 by 18 or so, 2 matching rugs, one for in front of the not the refrigerator, in front of the sink, and one in front of the stove. So that's on the radar. It didn't happen. I had high plans, but I had to start my day off by taking Molly to the vet because girlfriend needed her shots, and she did a good job. And so then the vet told me about taking her to Starbucks, which I never go to Starbucks, so I'm not a coffee drinker. But we went to Starbucks because he told me about what a pup cup is. And so she got a pup cup. So I'll put a picture here of Molly, my old girl getting her pup cup, her first pup cup. And then, so then I did that, and then I took her home, and then I ran here, and I had a return I had to do, like an Amazon return at Staples, something, and I went to town, and then all bets were off. Then I went to Hobby Lobby, and then I went to the thrift store, and then I went to the other thrift store. And then Steve was at a friend's house most of the day working on a project, and then he called. So then we met up for dinner and an early dinner. Anyway, Jelly Roll never happened. So let me set this down here. I want to know, with all that being said, did you guys get to sew anything on Saturday, a National Jelly Roll Day? Because if you did, I'd love to see it. Oh, speaking of seeing it, so I've had one or two people in the past have shared with me in emails projects that they've worked on. And then I had mentioned in my last video about, you know, maybe a Facebook group. I know there's a lot out there. I'm not big on Facebook. Like I said, I really just enjoy the eye candy on Instagram and just scroll and watch Flosstube. But a couple of you said you were interested. And I think it would be cool because then it would be more of a back and forth. I could see what you're working on, not me just talking to the camera or the laptop, iPad, whatever it is. So I started a little group. I did make a small post on Instagram about it. I haven't looked. Let me look. Did anybody join? Probably not. It's called Shanebrook Cottage. It's on Facebook. You just search for it by name. If you would like to join, I'm thinking of specifically Kelly. I'm thinking that maybe you'd want to join since we already chat back and forth. Not that you have to, no pressure. Speaking of Kelly, Kelly invited me not once, but twice to go to a retreat. And I'm always like, oh, I don't know. I'm kind of shy. I said yes. I'm glad that she asked me again. So I'm going to meet her at the 2026 Chantel's Pep Rally. It's going to be my first retreat. I was going to say scrapbook, my first cross stitch retreat. I've been to scrapbook retreats in the past with friends. So this will be a big deal because I'm going to be getting on a plane, flying across the country, all by my little lonesome to share a hotel room with a total stranger and go to a retreat. So I'm a little nervous, a little scared, not nervous or scared about being with Kelly because she's a doll and we are going to get along like peas and carrots. It's not going to be a problem. But like, I just hope I don't have like one of those weird days or weekends where I'm just a total like spaz, like introvert. I hope like my extrovert personality shines that weekend because I want to make friends. I want to make cross stitch friends. So what was I looking up? Oh, the Facebook group. So if you would like to join the Facebook group and keep this conversation going, and then we can have a back and forth. So you can post what you like and share with me what you're working on. And of course, I can't find it on my phone because I feel all pressured right now. Let's see, where is it at? How do I switch? Oh, is it here? Groups? Switch. I don't know if, nope, that's not right. Groups. I don't know. I'm going to have to get somebody smarter than me, one of the grandkids, to help me. But I did create the group. It happened. So if you find the group, let me know and then tell me how to find the group that I created. And we can be friends and you can share me stuff. And I have like some generic rules. So like there's a question. What do you like to do to relax? There is no right or wrong answer. And then the rules are the basic rules that you have in kindergarten. Be kind, be polite, be a hype girl or guy. If you're a guy joining, hype everybody up. Don't be a Debbie Downer and poo-poo on people. And let's not talk about politics because you are not going to change my mind. And it's not the time or the place to talk about it because we're here to be happy. And that's it, basically. And if you're a jerk, we'll just block you because there's no room for that, right? Okay. Onward. I think we're at the portion of the video where we do haul. Yes, indeed. So let's talk about haul. I got a Tilda Fat Quarter Bundle. Merry Little Christmas. I have not cracked it open. I've just been staring at it. I don't have any plans for it. I love the color palette a lot. I really like, I mean, I like everything. I like this duck eggs blue. I like everything about it. I am really, really lucky. I noticed that my local Bernita store is carrying this line, and I think they have the blender line too. It's a little spicy though. Does memory serve correct? Is it $15.99 a yard instead of $12.99 a yard? Which $12.99 a yard is a little spicy for me too. But it is nice to know if I do think of something I want to make with this. I know that I could go get some extra fabric and put it with this for the project. So I'm very happy that I got that. No regrets. I'm so happy about that I bought my very first goose bag. Ta-da! So when Denise showed her bags online, I was like, you know what? I am probably the only person on this planet who does not have a bag from Denise. Denise, I knew that she made fabulous bags because everybody said she did. I used to make vinyl front bags. Probably, if I'm honest, I think a vinyl front bag is probably one of my favorite bags because you can see what's in it. For me, I don't make them because I don't like storing the vinyl. Like, and maybe there is a place, like if you sold me the pre-cut little sheets of vinyl, which would probably cost you an arm and a leg to the size I wanted, and they came with like tissue paper and I could just peel them off and then sew with them, I'd be good. But no, like I had to like juggle this big old roll of it, and it wasn't for me. So I took the opportunity so I checked 3 boxes. I got a Goose bag, check. I got a new vinyl front bag, check. And I got some beautiful Tilda fabric. So it's a win-win, and I supported another small business. So, and I don't know Denise personally, but she was a doll because when I checked out in her store, her discount code did not work. And that's okay. Things happen. But I just sent her a message just saying, and I wasn't even asking for the discount. I was just like, hey, just FYI, the discount code doesn't work because I feel like she doesn't charge enough for her bags. But she did mention that she's raising her prices a teens, and I think that's the right thing to do. I also, correct me if I'm wrong, I think Nancy the Disorderly Stitcher raised her prices just a teens. I could be wrong, but I think that she did. Nancy is over the hill and through the woods away from me. And not that I want anyone, because we all like to buy things and we want to get pretty things without spending a lot of money, but it doesn't make sense for a maker to make things for basically free. If you're just barely covering the cost of your supplies and you're doing a really great job, that's not right. This is America where people should make a living wage for whatever their talent is. So anyway, beautiful, beautiful bag. So excited. I've been waiting to put a project in it until I showed you guys, so I didn't want to show it to you all boogered up so you could see the beautiful fabric. I got this pattern when I was at the Bernina store. And this, I'm not going to look through my phone, but it was, what's the word for it? Serendipitous. I had recently just seen on Instagram, somebody did one of these clamshell bags, and it had like a little camper on it. And I was like, oh, that's so cute. But I don't know how to do, I don't know if there's something special I got to do to get that zipper to go. And then I was in the store this weekend, and they had the pattern. And I was like, and let's be honest, their patterns, that store is not a cheap store. $14.99. I probably could have got it for less with free shipping on Etsy. But he changed my needle on my machine and did all those nice things for me. And I should also support my local business, because if I want to have nice stores in my area like that store, then sometimes I need to pay a couple extra dollars to ensure that they stay in business. So I paid the couple extra dollars. I wasn't a cheapskate, and I bought the pattern from them. So this is on my agenda to learn how to do the zippy zip. Being a cheapskate, I got this free pattern from Primrose. It's adorable. I want to start it, but I have so many other things I'm working on. If you did not know, Primrose Cottage gives you a free pattern a month. Is it every month? And a free quilting project every month. So you could go to their website and download this. I won't share it. You know, it's just a PDF because you could go to theirs and get it. And it's just so cute. So thank you to Primrose for being generous with your designs and sharing. I got this from an Etsy seller. Nice spring, summer. It's a Riley Blake panel. It is, if you're interested in getting one for yourself, strawberry honey. And I think there was some fabric, but this is old, 2021. It's like, it was like hard to find any. Strawberry Honey by Gracie Larson. And I thought, man, this is going to make some adorable little bags or projects or pillows. Wouldn't these make some great little pillows? So I picked that up to work with this spring. And then when I was at the vintage stores, I got 3 books. And 2 I'm going to keep and 1 I'm going to sell. So the first book, Country Quilts in a Day, Using Strip Quilting and Other Speed Techniques. This is the one I'm going to sell. It's in really good shape. Let me tell you what year it is. It's by Fran, R-O-E-N. It has some writing. To Mom, Merry Christmas, Danny, Elaine, and Gordy. Isn't that sweet? That was a good Christmas gift for someone. It is dated, I want to say the 80s. 1991, just out of the 80s. And the only reason I'm not keeping this book is because it's doing like quick techniques on strip quilting. And my brain just can't like wrap my head around shortcuts, like cutting your square bigger and cutting it down, or sewing all this together and I got to follow a pattern. Like my brain is not designed, or maybe I'm just not to that point in my quilting journey where I know enough that I can look at something and be like, oh yeah, this would make it faster, this would make it quicker. So I know this would just sit on my shelf and collect dust. Most of my books do sit on the shelf and collect dust, but I know this one would for sure, because I don't think I would reach for it, because I'm just like, I'd just rather follow a pattern. But I thought somebody else might like this because it does have a lot of patterns in there, and somebody else might be looking for some shortcuts. This one here is so neat. 500 full-size patchwork patterns. Now, let me look at the year on this book, because boy, that just screams, I don't know what decade. Oh, again, I'm going to just say 80s. Late 70s, early 80s. Let's see what it says. It's by Maggie Malone. Maggie Malone, copyright 1985. And what I like about this one, here, let me just kind of do a thumb through. Well, there's some templates, but look, it has like all the not all, but a lot of the standard blocks, like 500 blocks that you could mix and match and use. Black and white, which is a downer, but it gives you traditional names of the blocks too. So I think that's really cool. I think that's gonna be a great resource. I enjoyed thumbing through it. And this is the 3rd book I got. How to Make an Amish Quilt. This one is also written and purchased from Bookmobile, $12.92, Dottie. So Dottie got it from the Bookmobile. The date on this one is More Than 80 Beautiful Patterns from the Quilting Heartland of America, 84, 85 is part of the books. This one's copyrighted 1989 in Intercourse, PA, which is hopping to skip away from me. And this book I started to read because there's actually, let me show you, there's like some history in here. it talks about who the Amish are, what they think about technology and why. It talks about the difference between Pennsylvania Amish in their quilting versus Midwest Amish. I live not too far from Lancaster, and then I lived not too far from, it's escaping me, the Amanas in Iowa growing up. And it talks about the differences between the Midwest and the Eastern communities as far as how it reflects in their quilt patterns, their choice of colors. Traditionally, broad strokes speaking, that would be like saying all people named Lorraine, are total dorks. Maybe true, maybe not. I don't know, but but yeah, it would be wrong to just characterize people as one lump. And then there's patterns, and the idea is, so if you enjoy this style of quilting, you could recreate that style. Where I don't think that's something that I'm interested in doing, but it is a book that I found extremely interesting, the bit that I have read, and so I want to keep that for my collection. And it is nice. I mean, it's nice. We have a good Mennonite population in our area, but we are starting to get more Amish families moving in. We have a young family just down the road, and it scares the bejeebus out of me when you see them on their horse and buggies out here on Route 116, which is like a major thoroughfare. A lot of hills, a lot of blind spots, and we're not used to horse and buggies around here, and I don't want anyone to get hit, is what I'm thinking. But the cost of everything has gone up, especially in Lancaster County. It's very saturated, so they're moving here, which is driving our farmland up. And then we have the influx of Maryland's, because we're really close to the Maryland border, moving here, and like our housing here is just like out of control. I don't know. I'm sure every generation says this. I don't know how the young people do it, but I truly say that I don't know how the young people are doing it. The struggle is real to find affordable housing with everything else they have to do raising a family. So that is my chaotic, all over the place Flosstube. I hope you enjoyed it. I would like to share with you Christy at Java Girl Stitches. I saw this on her Flosstube a couple of them ago, and she's been reading a devotional out of these for her videos. So I mean this flattery. Copying is the best flattery. I don't know what the saying is. But if it doesn't bother anyone, I'm going to piggyback off her tailcoats and read a devotional. Hopefully, I'm just going to start in the beginning of the book. And that way it doesn't overlap with wherever she's at in the book. Because there's no such thing as too much praying in this world. There's a lot going on between Tylenol, Jimmy Kimmel. There was a shooting today at an ice facility. There was, I mean, the Charlie Kirk, not Cook. I can't speak. I mean, just the list. Like, depending what day you watch this, there could be 6 other things that have happened in our country. I feel like if I was a Canadian, I would be building a wall to keep the Americans out, because we are just like on the crazy train here. And I took my mom to the grocery store tonight. A lot of times we do our online shopping instead, but we went to the store, and you know, I don't think I notice it as much online shopping, but when I go in the store and I see those prices right in my face as I'm pulling that item off the shelf, I'm just like, darn, that has really gone up. So I'm not blaming anyone in particular. I'm not saying anything like that. You have your beliefs, I have my beliefs. But the one thing we do have in common is prayer and the belief in a higher power in God. So if you're Christian, you're Jewish, you're Muslim, you know, we all come from, you know, the same stock, Abraham and Sarah, and we all believe in the same God. So if you'd like to tune out now, you can, but I'm going to read, and I hope that you enjoy it, and I hope you pull something away from it, especially since this is geared towards stitchers. It's a book called Sunday Stitches by Debbie Danielson, and I just got it off Amazon, and all credit goes to Christy at Java Girl Stitches for bringing this to the forefront to my attention. So I'm just going to start on the first one called A Stitch in Time. Ecclesiastes 3:1. There's a time for everything and a season for every activity under the heavens. As you prepare to pick up your needle and thread, take a moment to reflect on the timeless wisdom of Ecclesiastes, and you can make fun of me because I can't speak. 3:1. Just as every stitch is deliberate and purposeful act in your cross-stitching project, so too is each moment in your life. In the rhythm of stitching, you're reminded that life, like your project, is a tapestry of moments. Some intricate and detailed, others simple. Each moment, like each stitch, contributes to the overall design of your life, shaping it into something beautiful. In the same way that a well-placed stitch enhances the beauty of your creation, the choices you make in your life, both big and small, shape the narrative of your journey. As you stitch, consider how each moment is an opportunity to create something meaningful, not just in your project, but also in your life. May this time of stitching be a reminder that every moment is purposeful and every stitch matters. Just as you carefully select each color and place each stitch with intention, may you approach each moment of your life with mindfulness and purpose, knowing that God is weaving a masterpiece with the threads of your life. Amen. I will see you all in 2 weeks. Bye.